Coach, you didn't have any slouches last year, but it was obvious that maybe sometimes the passing game missed a Jordan Leggett.
Yep.
Do you think you might be able to get that back this year?
Yeah, I definitely do. You know, we got a good nucleus of kids. You know, starting with Milan, who's had another year up under his belt. He's worked hard back for his senior campaign. We have a healthy Garrett Williams back, which is an added bonus. He's done a good job, especially this summer. You have Cannon Smith, who's back for his senior campaign. He's played a lot of football for us. You have J.C. Chalk, who's kind of coming on as far as getting an opportunity to play. And then we have freshman Braden Galloway, who's done really well. He's been with us since January. We expect a lot of good things out of him. And then we have another young man who just joined our team, J.L. Banks. So that's kind of our nucleus of kids. And I don't know that our room's ever been more consistent top to bottom since I've been here, as far as being able to have not only good players, but really good kids and leaders, and just a real exciting group to be around.
Especially the tight end position so difficult in this offense. Braden Galloway, how well do you think he's coming along learning the position?
You know, I was cautiously optimistic after he joined us in January. You know, here's a kid who's normally been a basketball kid most of his life and played a little bit of high school football, a couple years of that, and then joined us. But I've been really encouraged and impressed with not only his athleticism, but his pickup of the offense, his ability to, you know, when you always get a young man like that, his ability to block. It'll take some work, but he's a willing kid. He's a tough kid, and he's really this spring really got a grasp of what we try to do this spring. So really looking forward to camp with him to see how much he progressed this summer, you know, on his own, and see what all he's learned and retained from this spring.
With his size and athleticism, is he a guy you think could help you this year?
Oh, you know, I think so. You know, it'll be up to him. You know, how he progresses this August camp, and look forward to him helping us.
Is he fully healthy now at that point?
Yeah, you know, I hope so. You know, that was a thing, kind of and that's kind of a reoccurring thing across the board now. And I don't know what caused it, but he had that in high school and had it fixed. He came back and had to have it redone when he was with us in January, so it set him back a little bit for spring. And he was only able to actually participate the last week there for its full go. But he's had no problem with it since.
Jordan Leggett was such a mismatch in the red zone. You think he could be a similar type of mismatch?
He could be a similar guy. You know, he's kind of that same mold or body type and athleticism. And look forward to giving him that opportunity to do that.
Milan, what does he have to do to take that next step for you?
You know, everybody, realizes that, Milan's first year of really playing in that role was last year.
Right.
And nobody talks much about Jordan Leggett when he was a junior. Nobody talks much about Dwayne Allen when he was a junior. And he was a redshirt junior when he hit his stride, and so I expect Milan to have a big year for us. I really do. And his senior year, he has a good grasp of offense. He's been in a lot of competitive situations. At that position, you're going to be covered quite a bit, and being able to make competitive catches is a big added plus. And the confidence to do that, and when the chips are down, and I look forward to him doing that this year.
Can Garrett be a threat in the passing game?
Garrett's worked really hard. There was a time there where Garrett struggled catching the ball, but he's worked really hard to become a viable receiver for us.
What does J.C. Chalk do well?
J.C. Chalk, probably the biggest thing is he's surprisingly a lot more athletic than you would think. He can bend his body, and he too can become a size mismatch for you. He has an uncanny way of being able to work to get open, and look forward to seeing him grow and progress in this offense.
You've got the transfer who's an older player. Right. What can he bring to the room?
We did this a couple years ago. We let Grant Radakovich.
Yeah.
And that kid came in, blended in with the room a lot like J.L. has done, and brings some added toughness, confidence, a different perspective on things, and just really has blended in well. Look forward to seeing him work this camp and see what he brings to the table. But really a good kid.
Coach, in terms of the special teams, what do you think of the new kickoff rule? How much do you think that might affect the game?
It's going to be interesting. I think it'll affect the rule probably depending on who you play and what their kickoff guy has the capability of doing. Obviously, be able to kick that thing really high and land it on the 5, and the coverage team gets down there on top of you and making returns extremely difficult. You know, you'd have to game plan possibly the fair catch shows and get that ball to 25. You know, a good kickoff return average is somewhere around 28 yards a return, and they're going to give it to you at the 25. I think if you punch the numbers on it, starting the ball at the 25 is a pretty good option a lot of times. You know, I think from a kickoff standpoint, I think you're going to have to cover it like it's live regardless, and then react to whatever your opponent does to you. It'll be interesting to see how teams play that this season, and what that rule change does bring to college football.
I guess in a perfect world, because you got 2 kickers who are eligible this year, maybe BT would redshirt, but is he, you think, going to be as valuable on kickoffs that maybe he will avoid it?
It's going to be, he's going to have to prove us wrong, because what I've seen from that youngster in high school, you know, his biggest asset right now would be a kickoff guy.
Right.
You know, and you know, it's not to say he can't kick field goals for us, but you know, one of his biggest attributes is the power and the pop he brings on kickoff. So, you know, I would think he'd be right in the mix there for us as far.